Welcome, Mike Martinez, and this video is going to talk about something that the insurance companies don't want you to know. That's an interesting subject because there's a lot that they don't want you to know, but I'm going to tell you one thing they don't want you to know. All right. First of all, when you go out there, what's the process, right? You go, you experience some damage. Let's say your sink overflows, right? Your tub overflows. Your kid is taking a bath, and the tub is filling up with water, and a kid jumps out, gets a towel, goes watch TV. The water's still running, and you got an overflow of water, which is a claim for you, right? That produces damage to the house, and there's a problem there. So you contact your insurance company, and they go out. They tell you, all right, we're going to send a claims adjuster, and he will look at the damage, and we'll get back to you, right? So the claims adjuster comes to your house and looks at the damage and says, okay, well, we're going to do this and that, right? And we'll notify you in a week or two or a few weeks, and you'll get some notice in the mail, right? So you finally get that notice in the mail, and they say, well, Mr. Homeowner, yes, you do have a claim there, and yes, we saw some damage there, and here's what we're going to do for you. We're going to give you X amount of dollars, and all you need to do is sign in the dotted line saying that you are accepting this settlement, and we'll be done, and you'll have your money. You could do whatever whatever repairs you need to do. Here's what they don't want you to know. When they go and they look at the damage, first of all, the claims adjuster that's looking at the damage is not covering every possible avenue that you have to replace. He's covering basically the surface damage and doesn't want to go into all the nitty-gritty details of what is involved in the repairs, because then the cost is going to be a lot higher. Now, when they go over and they come to an agreement on their side, when they're behind closed doors and they say, well, the Martinez case with the tub overflow, that's a $7,000 job, or that's a $7,000 claim. They don't offer you the $7,000, so they're not going to come to me and say, here's $7,000 to do the repairs that we estimated. What they're going to do first is they're going to say, let's offer him $3,000 and see what happens. Now, most people don't know this, okay? Most people don't know the fact that that first check or that first amount that they're offering you is just that, the first amount. And it's usually a lot less than what you are supposed to be receiving. It's kind of like they throw it in front of you and they say, well, here's the money. But you need to sign here and make sure that you are accepting this as a settlement, and boom. And this happens with all insurance, guys. You go out there and you get into a car accident, right? And your lawyer is going to receive the first the first settlement amount. Hey, will he take $5,000? Or we're offering $5,000. And then your lawyer comes back to you and says, hey, they're offering $5,000. And you say, $5,000? Are you kidding me? I had $15,000 worth of damages. Now the lawyer goes back and says, no, my client is not accepting that. And guess what they do? They go to the next level, right? And again, if they know it's a $15,000 claim, they're not going to jump from the $5,000 to the $15,000. They may come and say, all right, we'll give them $8,000. Go back and your lawyer says, no, he's not accepting that, and we got this and this and this and this as damage, and this is the value of this and this is the value of that, and we're looking for at least $12,000, let's say. So then they go back and they negotiate that. But with homeowners, for some reason, homeowners don't go through that negotiation process, and a lot of times they don't go through that negotiation process is, number one, they don't know that is available to them, right? They don't know that first price that they're throwing at you, that first settlement amount, is just that. It's the first settlement amount, right? And they're not giving you what they really believe is the amount that you should be getting. So they're throwing you a figure. Now, again, most people don't know that. And if you're not using a lawyer or a public adjuster to do that, then you're not going to get the amount, because what happens, and this is especially with a public adjuster, here's the deal. Here's the problem. It's not a matter of you just, they say, okay, here's your, we've concluded that your settlement is a $3,000 case, right, claim. And you say, $3,000? Well, I don't know. I mean, my ceiling is shot, and, my rug is done, and the bathroom floor is buckling, and this and that, right? You say, $3,000, I don't know if that's good enough. Well, you just can't use that terminology. You just can't use those words like that, because that's not going to get them to offer you something else. What a public adjuster does is, we have a special software, a special computer program that analyzes the damaged area, and we go by by the size of the damage, by the material that needs to be replaced, and by the labor that needs to be done. So we calculated based on that information, and that spits out a number, and we say, okay, no, well, that's an $11,000 job, not a $3,000 job. And that's how you get them to raise the number to your level, because the bottom line is, you just can't say, 3,000 doesn't sound about right. Well, they're going to say, well, what do you mean it doesn't sound about right? What do what's not right? And if you don't have, the specifics, the details, hey, you know what? I got to replace X amount of square foot in rugs. I got to replace X amount of of wood. I have to, that wood is going to take X amount of dollars in labor costs. That's how you get them to raise those numbers. And that's why they really don't want you to use a public adjuster. Most people that don't use a public adjuster go with that very first settlement price. Whatever they decide, hey, here's Mr. Martinez, I got great news. Yeah, we're about to send you a $2,800 check. Woo! Right? And I don't know any better, right? Average person doesn't. Hey, babe, we're getting $2,800. But you hear your wife say, you sure that's enough? Oh, yeah, they know what they're doing. They wouldn't cheat me. We're in the good hands. Right? As funny as that sounds, right? This happens all the time, guys. So the point is this. What they don't want you to know is that, number one, the first settlement price, or the first settlement amount that they're offering you, is not the end all. You can go back and you can say, I don't think that that's appropriate because of, but you got to have some facts substantiating the because of, right? It's not just a matter of, I'm not happy with that, I want more, right? They're not gonna give you more just because you want more. You got to prove things. So that's where we come in, public adjusters. We come in and we say, here's why we need more. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say you had Uh, let's use that example. The tub overflowed. Water came into the hallway. Now it's dripping down to the next floor underneath. I got streaks of water that's going against the wall, right? Now there's more than just what the surface damage looks like. There's a lot more involved. And for instance, did you know that if I needed to paint the walls now, right? Or maybe the damage in the walls was greater than just a paint job. I need to replace the walls, right? But let's just say the paint. Let's just say that it's a simple paint job, right? Two coats of paint, and I need that done. That's part of the claim. All right. Now that's just the walls, right? There's going to be a floor, something that has to do with the floor, the replacement of something, or maybe whatever it is. The rugs have to be replaced, the tile has to be replaced, the wood has to be replaced, whatever. I'm just talking about the walls now. We got some streaks of water coming down the walls, and now guess what? I need 2 coats of paint to put the home back to pre-damage condition. In that claim there, and the company adjuster is not going to tell you this, but in the claim there, if you have pictures hanging from the wall, they could pay you, or they should pay you, to have somebody remove those pictures. Believe it or not. All right. They're going to pay you to have somebody remove those pictures. They're going to pay you to have somebody remove the furniture in the room because you got to change the rug. They're gonna pay you to move somebody to move the furniture out of the room, and for somebody to move the furniture back into the room. They're gonna pay you for somebody painting the walls, and they're gonna pay you for somebody taking the picture frames or the nails or whatever that's on the wall now currently, take it off the walls, move it to another room or move it to another area, do the paint job, take the furniture out, do the paint job, bring the furniture back in, and bring all the stuff back into the walls that you had. Pictures, right? They pay you for those things. Now, you won't hear that from the company adjuster. Those are some of the things that they're going to try to shave away when they say, here's your $2,800 check. Right? So your $2,800 check does not include the moving out of the furniture. Your $2,800 check doesn't include taking everything off the walls and putting it somewhere else, and then bringing the furniture back and putting that stuff back. Now, what do? Right? You say, hey, Mike Martinez taught me this new stuff. I didn't know that. Well, you go back to your insurance guy and you say, hey, how about the pictures on my wall? And they're going to say, well, how much you want for that, right? You can't just say that, right? You just can't say, well, how about the pictures on my wall? How about moving my furniture? You got to go over there with some concrete numbers. You got to go over there with estimates of current labor cost. What does it cost today to do that type of work, right? And that's what we as public adjusters do. We know what it costs. We have a special program, again, that will do the estimating for these things. And that's the advantage that we have. That's the advantage that we bring to you, right? So instead of the $2,800 check that they were trying to get you to applaud about, you really should be getting $9,000, right? Because there's other things involved that they didn't want to tell you about, right? So those are some of the things. And, I always say, listen, guys, there's certain things that you should let experts do because they have the upper hand. They know what they're doing. And placing a home insurance claim is one of those things. You want to have a home you want to have a public adjuster to represent you. You want to have a public adjuster to handle your burden of proof, because most likely you won't know how to handle it properly and you're going to lose out. And what happens pretty much is, again, they're going to come over and say, Mr. Martinez, $2,800, man, I took care of you. Here, just sign over here and let me, let's just get this over and done with, right? They want you to sign because when you sign, you say, hey, that $2,800, that sounds good to me, right? I even take you out to the Chinese restaurant, dear, right? And so you tell your wife. But that's what happens, guys. All right. And that's what they don't want you to know. So, Mike Martinez, if you have an issue and you would like, there's no cost, no out-of-pocket cost for you to call me up and say, hey, had this issue. What do you think? Do we got something here? I would then want to see the policy that you currently have on your home, and then we'll see whether it makes sense. Sometimes, to be honest with you, it doesn't make sense. If the policy or if the damage is not great enough and you have a high deductible, right, you may not want to, go through the process. And then in that case, you don't even call the insurance company. Because every time you call, you create a claims number, whether you get paid for it or not, whether you get, even if they deny you, you're still going to have that claim number. So sometimes it doesn't make sense. So again, my name is Mike Martinez. Let me decipher those little puzzles and see if there's something there for you. See if it makes sense. And if it does make sense, I'm going to fight. Our company is going to fight to make sure you get every single penny you're owed, right? Because that's what we do. We work on your behalf. We work as advocates for the homeowners or business owners when they suffer a loss. And if not, you're going to be negotiating with the wolf, and the wolf has their own, their own benefit in mind, not your benefit. Okay, so Mike Martinez, my number's right there on the screen. Give me a call when you have the opportunity. When there's an issue that you need for me to look at, I'll be more than happy to navigate you through this process. All right. Speak to you soon. I wish you the best of success.
Thank you for watching our video. Please take a moment to share with your friends and network. We'll see you next time.